Hello everyone and welcome back to another high-level match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a best-of-3 series that's allegedly a bit of a banger. So I'm excited to find out exactly what ended up going down between these two players. First off, in the top right-hand corner, if I were to make a guess, the reason why this series was recommended to me is probably because of the man right here. Playing with the red Protoss probes, we have Haas. His opponent in the opposite corner, definitely also someone who likes to get aggressive, especially in the mid-game. Playing here with the blue Zerg drones, we're looking at Cham's main hatchery. In general though, in case you're unfamiliar, Haas very much so the kind of guy who will be more than happy to play a rather cheesy early game. At the very least, that's what we saw him do all those years ago. He decided to go for a lot of cannon rushes back then, a lot of immortal cheeses, a lot of void ray shenanigans as well. Since then, he has... Oftentimes he's transitioned right now towards this like mass probe army. I've literally seen him go up to like 100 workers and then just throw tons of zealots at the opponent. It's a funky playstyle, but Haas's early game and his mid game are really strong. So I'm hoping that we're going to be seeing some of him out of this series as well. Some of that playstyle at the very least. Cham in general likes to play a pretty normal early game from what I've seen lately. What are you doing? What? Okay. He's just hiding a drone. Okay, fair enough. I thought for a second he was going to get spotted as well. That would have been something. I'm not exactly sure what this drone is even trying to achieve here. He's continuously controlling it, so I was thinking maybe he just wants to... I think he's just trying to be super safe. Yeah, maybe he just wants to make sure he doesn't get cannon rushed. I thought for a second maybe he wanted to go for a very quick third hatchery, but that just doesn't make a lot of sense. The problem is, though, you could have just parked the Overlord right there on top of the hatchery, no? Anyhow, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, we are lacking a second gas geyser. Aren't we? Yeah, we most definitely are. What I was trying to say is that Cham likes to play a really normal early game most of the time, and then usually he transitions away to, yeah, something a little bit more aggressive. I've seen him go for a lot of roach pushes. Just a lot of aggressive stuff in general. Maybe some queen marches as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see some of that coming out of him. Haas has decided to go for, well, just a single Vespian geyser over here. He's just mining gas off of a single assimilator. This is a little bit funky. That's actually a delayed warp gate research as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he went Stalker first. This Overlord is actually... Ooh, Overlord. No, you're not going to make that. That is a big mistake actually coming out of Cham over here. He was definitely supposed to center that right over there in the middle of that pillar. It would have been safe until anything is out that provides him high ground vision. And that now means that Haas gets to do whatever he likes. So he's essentially forced into a robo facility. Either a robo facility, I guess, or maybe a really quick third hatch, or Nexus, I guess, from his side. Anyways, you're not really going to be able to do much Twilight play. Definitely no Stargate shenanigans when you're mining gas, and now he's pulling out. Alright, he's going to continue mining with just one probe. But when you're mining gas with only... Really, that's it? Okay. Anyways, when you're mining this little gas. We'll see what he decides to use the small amount of gas on. It's going to be one immortal. Really. One immortal. I'm guessing that this has to be some sort of like 8-gate, 7-gate-ish type of opener. That being said, Cham right now has got a secondary Overlord. He knows he's made a mistake in the early game, but he also knows that he's playing up against the... Well, he's playing against one of the trickiest Protoss players out there. So he needs to sacrifice an Overlord just to figure out what's happening. Now, he saw an Immortal there. That is a funky timing for an Immortal. He saw an additional gateway, and I think that's really all he needs to know. He wants to keep that Overlord alive because he really can't afford sacrificing another one. Okay, at the very least, that one will stay around. It's going to be one Immortal into one Prism, and then I think that this Robo facility is just going to sit there. I mean, you can't really make... Well, I guess you could make another Prism if you really wanted to, but there's not a whole lot else you can get out of the Robo facility if you don't have any gas. So, he's on 34 workers. That's probably 2 more than he actually planned on having. Small little mistake here, but that does mean he's going to be able to warp in a ridiculous amount of Zealots. Cham though with the nice scout over there. He's going for both a Roach Warren as well as a Baneling Nest. Okay. And he's gonna need quite a few units to deal with this. There's no charge, there's none of that coming either. This is just a whole lot of units coming out of Haas. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what the man loves to play. Very cheesy style, very aggressive style as well. I mean, he didn't over-drone, Cham, that is. I just don't really know exactly how clean his early game was, considering he lost that one Overlord. I can imagine that there may have been a couple other mistakes as well. Against a build like this, you're really not allowed to make a whole lot of slip-ups, but so far, so good. Yeah. Okay, nicely done. So here's the trick for Zerg, right? Here's what you need to get done here as a Zerg player in order to not lose against a build order like this. You really cannot drone any further than like 40 workers. If you go to 40 drones, you're probably already a little bit too late. You really need to start making sure that you produce an army early enough to stop that build here from the Protoss. The thing is, the vast majority of 2-base pushes that Protoss will go for, they're done off of 44 workers. So that means that they fully saturate both mineral lines and then also 4 gas geysers. So usually in those, yeah, more, I guess, quote-unquote, standard Protoss all-in build orders, you can actually get away with, like, sometimes even up to 50 workers. And if you would have got up to 50 workers here, he would have been super dead. Anyways, he's not out of the waters just yet, though. There's still a lot more shenanigans here coming out of Haas. But honestly, this seems like a lost cause to me. I mean, he's done a little bit of damage. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I just don't see how he's going to be trading better right now moving forward. Keep in mind, he's going to be running out of juice here as well in about 4 minutes' time, right? He needs another Nexus just to mine more minerals. Although this is starting to look better and better and better right now. 8 roaches are just about to pop. The trades here have definitely not been the most efficient for Cham, and that is definitely what's biting him in the butt over here, because if he would have traded a little bit better, I think he probably wouldn't have lost 80 Zerglings here in total. That being said, I think he should still be okay. Ooh, I say that, and every time he warps in a big round of Zealots, I get a little bit concerned. Like, theoretically, he should be okay, but that Immortal has been having a grand old time. How many kills does it have? I can't see. He picks it up too quickly. Stop microing so well. You know what? He's actually dealing a lot of damage now to that mineral line. Okay, 30... No, what? That's the prism. How did I not see that? Even though I've been looking for the freaking kill count on that Immortal like 17 times. Okay, 20 kills. 20 kills on that Immortal, and I would imagine the majority of that is probably roaches. Good juggling. Yeah. This is the olden days of Haas making a comeback, apparently. He doesn't have a lot of HP, but as long as he's got 1, that's all he really needs. Health is apparently just a resource. It's got so little health. Literally 1 health. Literally. Is he making this work? No way. Haas. So you may have noticed that when he first pushed back the Protoss, Cham queued up a round of drones. I think that may have actually cost him. That's the margin of error. I mean, the trades have been pretty good, though. He's doing an excellent job. Especially when he first had those Banelings out, he really blew up the Zealots really efficiently. He's been keeping those roaches of his alive for a long time, too. By the way, apparently the hero Immortal, it did fall here in the end. Maybe he's still okay. Maybe he's, I don't know. I actually don't know. The thing is, what exactly do you do right now as the Zerg? Do you go back to droning? Do you keep making units and try to throw your forces right here at the Protoss wall? Okay, maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, a couple drones, couple units. It feels uncomfortable. Usually you want to go in one of the 2 directions, where either you focus on army or you focus on economy. But a little bit of both might not be a bad decision here. So he's making more Banelings. That is just in case there's going to be another big Zealot warp in. He's got good vision, though, and this is really nice here for Cham, right? He sees that there's, well, no 3rd Nexus taken over there. You know, also sees that there's none taken over there on the left side. Sees a probe moving out, so he knows that his opponent at the very least is thinking about it. But this is now becoming a complete necessity here as well. If we look here at the mineral count inside of the main base of Protoss, there's not a whole lot that Haas is mining there anymore. So even though he only made 32 workers or so, at least in the earlier stages of this game, I think he went up to 34. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of probes. Well, he's got more than his opponent at the very least, but he doesn't have a lot of minerals to mine from anymore either. Whereas Cham, of course, has had this 3rd hatchery taken. There hasn't been a lot of mining there, But at the very least, he's going to be able to transfer his drones to another place to continuously get income. That's not going to happen either. Little bit of creeping puked here by the Overlord. Keep in mind, he doesn't have a lot of units that can shoot up. Yeah, he's finally started mining gas again. So at the very least, he's going to be able to warp in a couple of Stalkers. But this is still going to take like half a minute before all of that creep is gone. Yeah, maybe not half a minute. Yeah, it's a little bit quicker than that. But still, feels like it takes forever. Okay, so Cham, slowly working up to a reasonable count in workers once more. Okay, gets... Okay, I was gonna say, if he gets the Immortal, that would be awesome for him. Nice little warp in over there as well by Haas. Probe over here gets not denied so far, but he should be. Okay, another probe was already pulled. He assumed this one did, but not the case. So what's the follow-up going to be? I actually really like this from Haas. He decides to go straight into Disruptors. The tech route is rather expensive, since obviously you need to make a Robo Bay as well, and he doesn't have a whole lot of cash. But there's a good chance that Cham is not going to go for a super quick lair here either. Now, luckily for Cham, he did decide to go for a pretty quick lair. But slow roaches versus Disruptor Balls, not quite an ideal unit composition for the Zerg. Luckily here, though, for Cham, he's got Gliory Reconstitution just about to finish up. And it's going to make microing against those Protoss balls significantly easier, since the roaches suddenly grow, I don't know, a pair of extra legs. I don't really know exactly what happens, but they suddenly know how to run faster. At least the Zerglings get wings. Yeah. He sees the army coming in. There should be a Disruptor out already. Where is it? Oh, it's inside of the prison. Of course it is. He decides to bowl at the roaches here to the best of his abilities. There's another hero immortal. Maybe he's not going to be as cool as the first guy, but he needs to be picked up, I believe. Otherwise, yep, he will go down. Well, it's not ideal. Anyways, just denying this Nexus here would be absolutely tremendous. But that Disruptor, man, that Disruptor is a scary boy. Look at Cham just constantly moving around it. There's the battery overcharge as well. Good splits, beautiful splits right there. And that means that he can now dive a little bit deeper. Now that the Purification Nova is on cooldown, you know that he's not going to be able to bowl at your army here right away again. Second Disruptor, though, rolled out of the Robo facility as well. Okay, he's going to opt for just two of those roaches right there on the right side. But now the Protoss army, yeah, it's been pushed back towards the natural. The third base mineral line is in trouble. And it is in the end Cham who obtains the victory. Recently, I've gotten into the habit of skipping the first 2 minutes of the early game of a Zerg versus Protoss whenever I'm casting a series. I think if there's one series, though, where I shouldn't do so, it's one where I'm featuring Haas. Apparently, Haas more than happy to skip the second gas, for example, and go for a very explosive early game. This time around, though, it's once again going to be a gateway in the Wolof. Nothing all too crazy there. I mean, normally it's not even worth highlighting, but Haas was very much... Well, actually, I'm saying that. When Haas was going for a lot of cannon rushes, what he would do is he would go for a gateway on the low ground, then he would scout, and then if he saw that his opponent went for a hedge first, that's when he put down the forge. So it was a little bit different than the vast majority of the cannon rushers out there on the ladder that would just go for a pylon into a forge right away, and that's the entire strategy. Haas actually had a thought process behind it, right, where... That's a 19 supply Nexus. Interesting. Anyways, he wants to... Well, no, actually, he should be taking that momentarily. He should be taking that momentarily. This is a 19 Nexus into a 19 Cybercore, though. Normally, it's 2020. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on right here on the main base. Okay, that pylon is a little bit quicker as well. We should be seeing a gas coming up very soon. Emphasis on should be. Right now. Right, okay. We're once again opening single gas. Interesting. Anyways, Haas would basically do like a reactive cannon rush, if that makes any sense. Like, he wouldn't open up with a cannon rush. He'd be like, hey, you're playing a greedy game, so I think I can punish you. And if I can't, I can still sort of transition away from it. Because the problem is, if your cannon rush fails and you're only sitting at a forge, at that point, if you want to tech up towards, for example, a Stargate or, you know, anything else, you're first going to have to make a gateway, then a Cybercore, and then you can finally go for your tech structure. All of this is so very slow. Once again, though, Haas opting to go for a Robo facility here. Interesting. Robo facilities this early feel really funky. 9 times out of 10 at the pro level, you have players going for either a Stargate or a... Not even 9 times out of 10. Probably 95... Well, that's... Anyway, it's 1 in 20 games. There you go. Maybe then you will see someone going for a Robo Facility as their first tech structure. Normally, this is done in conjunction with, for example, a Twilight Council, right? So you can go for some Glaive to Depths, but then also bring a Prism and maybe an Observer to the party. Now it's going to be a straight Prism, so no Immortal. Honestly, that Hero Immortal in the previous game was excellent. But I can't believe that you can do the same trick twice, though, Haas. Is that really what we're doing? He's pulling out of gas again. So I think he's once more just going to make a single Immortal after... Yep, there it is. That's where his gas is going to go. And then we're just going to go Mass Gateway? I think he probably wanted to sit, by the way, at 32 workers in the previous game. So now he makes 31, which is also kind of funky to me. He made 34 in the previous one. So Cham is responding. Going straight Baneling Nest here. He scouted right there on the right side of the map, but he, didn't get very far. The fact that the Overlord was, the Overlord in the main base, I guess, was not denied earlier, really allowed Cham to prepare in advance. So the real question is, how many workers is Cham going to make? He's going up to 40. If he makes any besides this point, I'm getting concerned. Okay, he's going full unit production, it seems. Theoretically, this is already a little bit greedy, because ideally, I think you want to go to maybe 36, 35 or so. Like, you want to have the Protoss' economy, but then slightly better, right? So you can trade efficiently and then slowly pull ahead. That's the general goal here for Zerg. So ideally, you want to figure out exactly how many workers they have and then make like 2 or 3 more. So he's made 8 more than his opponent. I feel like that's honestly... Yeah, okay. He decides to abandon the 3rd hatch. So Cham probably thinking, my opponent, there's no way he's going to do the same thing twice. Well, think again. Apparently, that is exactly what he does. Okay. Well, this 3rd hatchery is super dead. Immortal here, retargeted to go after a couple of those roaches. Not bad. Yeah, that's 3 roaches down the drain. Okay, 1 Zealot has been tasked with finishing the job that the full army started, but he doesn't want to give his opponent too much time because he's still got that economy lead. Now the drones are pulled away. So look at the difference, right? Look at the difference that those just a couple of drones make. Just a couple more additional units. Yeah, that Prism was in a brilliant spot to still pick up the Immortal. Just a couple additional units make a massive difference. Haas now also going only 32 probes, so that is all he needs to fully saturate his main and his natural mineral line. He cannot afford losing that Prism, though. That would be a disaster. But so far, I think he's already done more than enough damage. Yeah, he's killed the opponent's 3rd hatch, and obviously he's killed the entire mineral line in the natural as well. So this is GG, right? There's no way. You can't come back at this point. I mean, you're losing the fight, but you're also losing the economy game, and you're also losing the tech game, and you're losing in every pillar of StarCraft. Okay, now even the Roach Warren is gonna get destroyed. What are you gonna make? Zerglings against someone who's going... How many gateways do we have, by the way? 7. Okay, it is 7. That makes sense. Yeah, are you gonna make Zerglings against someone who's warping in 7 Zealots at once? I mean, you can if you want to. You can if you want to. But I don't think it's gonna happen. GG. And that brings us to Inside and Out, which is the final game of this Best-of-3 series. One thing I don't think that I've mentioned yet is that this particular series was actually played during Dreamhack Atlanta. So neither player here has got a ping disadvantage or anything like that. Both players were there at the venue in Atlanta. Which probably also gives Haas, actually, with his Prism juggling at the very least, right? A little bit more confidence. Because you could see in a couple of those fights that he picked up right before the acid of the roaches would connect. Whereas if these guys would be playing, you know, on one of the servers where they both have an even amount of ping, right? It would probably be kind of tricky. Since they are located in very different parts of the world, normally. Anyhow. Haas going for a little bit of a quicker probe scout this time around. Hatcher on the low ground here for Cham. Yeah, once again sending a drone very early. Is he just idling the drone? Yeah, he is. Ooh, and you know what? This time around, it may actually be the right call. Haas is going for his standard opener At least the one that we saw back in like 2018. So Cham actually purposefully sending a drone towards the low ground just to make sure that if it is going to be a cannon rush, he can make sure that the probe is under attack right away. So right now, Cham has scouted, or has scouted rather, that it's a hatch into a gas into a pool. He wants to go for a cannon rush. But I don't think he can. Non-rush. He cannot... Okay, I tried. Cannot rush. He's gonna try anyways. He already cancelled the forge. He's already cancelled the forge. But he's still attempting to now go for a cannon rush. Okay. Haas is now fully playing the mind game. So he's going for a cannon rush while not going for a cannon rush. But he was going for a cannon rush. But now he isn't. This is the cannon not rush now. It's a little confusing, okay? There's layers to this mind game. The real mind game, though, is that Cham gets to the other side of the map and he sees the delayed cybercore, which doesn't make sense. What happened here, Cham? Why is that cybercore not done? Yeah, it was a forge. It used to be a forge here, but yeah. Sometimes you get so deep into the mind game that you realize you're only tricking yourself. And, well, apparently, this time around we do have double gas, but it is still gonna be a robo facility first regardless. That's so funny. Like, if we really do see a robo facility first after the cybercore, right? 1 in 20 games. I guess we're not gonna see it for the next 100 games or so, guys. I think we've already hit our quota. It is what it is. This time around, you really do want to center right over there, my man. There you go. There you go. Yeah, the pillars in StarCraft 2 are actually, like, the graphic for the pillar is about this big, right? But the actual pillar is about this big. You have to be right in the center, because otherwise, the Stalker can still continue hitting you. I don't really know exactly how it makes sense anyways, dude. I feel like the Stalker should still be perfectly able to see this, right? I mean, say you're a Stalker and you walk up this ramp, how do you not see that Overlord? Are you like a horse with blinders on, but the blinders are on the top of your eyebrows? Like, how does that... Do Stalkers have eyebrows? I don't think they do. That's probably the issue, huh? That's the problem. Anyways, Cham once again going Bailing Nest. 3.5 minute Bailing Nest. Normally I would call someone out for being a cheeser at this point, but I think this is a safety Bailing Nest. That is a very quick Bailing Nest, but I think that Cham is just trying to be super safe. So what is he playing against? It's gonna be a Twilight Council together with a Robo Facility, or a Robo Bay rather, after the facility here. So what are we making with the Twilight Council? Oh, we're going just charge with this. Okay. Thought for a second it was going to be like Stalker Colossus or something like that. But that is not really... Okay, we're going to go Zealots with charge and Disruptors instead. That's a more... Yeah, that's a more Hassie strategy for sure. Zerglings though? Yeah, they will now scout the full wall off here. That is funky. Why would we see a full wall off at this point? So if you see a full wall off at this point in the game, yeah, he's a little bit concerned right now for Dark Templar. He's a little bit concerned for an all-out assault here from Haas. Haas is going for a second Disruptor though. He is going for a bunch of gateways on the back of this, so it's still going to be 7 gates. It's still going to be just a good old 2-base push. But I don't think that Cham really needed to start making units just yet. I kind of feel like he could have squeezed out a couple more drones this time around. But he has got very limited information, right? He's seen a quick robo facility once again, just like he saw in the first couple games. Is he expecting a Disruptor at this point? No, he's been making non-stop army. Okay, well now he sees it. Good split. Once again, good reaction right there from Cham. I don't think that's bringing the... I don't think he'd seen the Disruptor just yet, right? I feel like springing the trap right there was not quite ideal yet. Probably wanted to wait a little bit longer. Zealots, though, holding hands, ready to charge. But they don't have their charge upgrade yet, so they have to wait for the leg enhancement. Takes a little bit, now no longer holding hands. It's okay. Now he starts up a couple drones again. You gotta be so careful, Cham. I think the additional drones are fine. But you gotta be so careful. We saw what a difference just 3 of those workers make. So now he sees charge, because those units are moving around much quicker. He's got triple gas himself. He's going Roach Baneling. That is the unit composition that he needs, as long as he can get rid of the Disruptors. Where's the second one? Oh, there's 2 prisms! I completely missed the second prism. What in the world? We have double Disruptor, double prism? Okay, well, the one over there got denied. Yeah, this works really well against someone who's not that good at the game. So if, you know, Haas would do this against me, I'd be super dead right now. But Cham is really good, so, you know, that's a problem. Oh, he loses one of them. Okay, that's a disaster. He loses a whole lot of zealots right there. Ugh. Disruptor ended up going down too. Yeah, so he's trying to outpace his opponent here by going double Prism, double Disruptor. So what he's trying to do is out APM his opponent. But it turns out Cham is a really fast player. Like, he's playing as if... Oh, God, he loses one Prism here, too. This is going from bad to worse right now. He's playing as if, you know, he is the faster player here, but that is not the case. Actions per minute-wise, at the very least, which obviously you always got to take with a grain of salt, but it is very clear that Cham is perfectly capable of going toe-to-toe. Okay, that was a really rough start to this engagement. Yep, look at the resources lost at this point. Ugh. I feel like a lot of that could have been prevented. Yep, a lot of that could have been prevented. And now we have, yeah, the probe stuck. Okay, I gotta back up. There are some glitches in the game that you can indeed abuse. This is a full wall off, okay? There's nothing here that you can do. However, if you micro the probe in the corner, I didn't think that that was going to work. I think it's gonna happen here momentarily, no? I think so. Yeah, there it goes. So if you make it so that the probe is stuck in the corner, and then yeah, it doesn't have anywhere to go anymore, so it decides to just glitch through the wall. That is so cheeky. Okay, I didn't think Haas was going to be able to get a probe out, and now he's actually sending the probe, while there's a Disruptor Nova in the main base, he's sending the probe towards the top left-hand corner to build a Nexus over there. Sure. Sure, why not? I like how this game started off with a cannon not rush, not cannon not rush. And now we're here. That Nexus in the top left, though, is a desperation Nexus, right? There's no way that you can actually keep that one alive if Cham knows about it. The thing is, though, Cham is... Well, at least in the early game, your quintessential macro Zerg, where he will just make stuff and, you know, scout you on your side of the map and be very good in a normal game. I don't know if he's thinking about the bases in the corners, right? Like, I mean, he should be, obviously. He should be running Lings around right now. But I think after seeing the first 2 games of this best-of-3 series, he's putting his opponent on just another full-on assault here on 2 bases. I think that makes the most sense as well. Oh. Queen's over here, getting some good value in. We need one more transfuse. Nice little flip right there. But not the value out of those disruptors that he's been hoping for, I don't think. Is he gonna recall probes? I think he probably will be. Dark Shrine is coming up as well. We need to recall at least a good chunk of workers. This is quite a... Is that not what we're doing? Okay. Anyways, he's too busy microing here in the middle of the map right now, losing too many units. Not ideal at all. Excellent splits right here, man. Nice flip as well on that one. Hold up. I want to go back again. I want to see the flip on that roach. That was a sick flip. Here he comes. Here he comes. What? Wait, the flips, the physics are... Oh, I thought they were part of the game, but it turns out they are recalculated every time I... That first flip, though, gets a 10 out of 10 for me. That was an excellent flip. Anyhow, I actually knew that. Yeah, oh, not a good one. I actually did know that. I just didn't thought of it. All right, I didn't thought of it. Nice. Nice English today. Very, very nice English today, Lowko. Ooh, okay, that's a good disruptor hit. That's what Haas is going to need. Because Cham, like I said at the beginning of this cast, he's happy to make units and hit, you know, you in the face if he can. And apparently the hitting in the face part of that strategy is right now. Still though, there's a bunch of roaches off creep. They do have Glio Reconstitution, so they do have their Speedy Boy upgrade. The sneaky little disruptor coming in from the side. Oh, that was sick. That's what we need. Why did we never recall probes, by the way? We've had energy on this Nexus since forever. I think he forgot about the Nexus over there or something. I'm not exactly sure what's happening in that area. He really should be recalling probes. Don't know why he's not mining more efficiently here, because he's got so many workers. Yeah, you could... Okay. We're gonna recall that many? Are you kidding me? We're gonna recall, like... Okay. I feel like we could have recalled, you know, this much. Like, fully saturate that base in the top left right away. Obviously, he's busy doing other things, right? So he's got 2 prisms with 2 disruptors in them each. He could go work in the circus if this whole StarCraft thing doesn't work out, because his juggling skills are insane. Maybe you can learn how to skateboard or ice skates or something, you know? Like, these days at a circus, I think you have to combine it with some other cool stuff. Just juggling alone is not going to cut it for a modern-day audience, but maybe Haas can do a cannon rush while juggling. I feel like he can, actually. I feel like he could probably juggle 3 balls while doing a cannon rush. That's impressive. That would get a cheer and a clap out of me. Maybe not as big of one as that Roach making a flip earlier. Oh my god. But still pretty good. Whoa. Anyways. Is Haas actually pulling a comeback here? Because I thought he was super dead. Like, I've been memeing here a little bit, but he's actually doing an amazing job coming back into... Haas! Dude, I think if he would have had that base in the top left-hand corner mining this entire time, and he actually recalled an appropriate amount of probes that have been appropriate, he would have actually been totally fine. Look at this, 24 workers on 4 mineral fields. He's trying to win this game, and it looks like I missed another big Nova, but he's trying to win this game purely off of micro alone. And while that can work, I don't know if it's going to be the most reliable option here. It's, well, spoiler alert, I know it's not. Okay, well, it helps if the opponent doesn't pay attention to their roaches. Okay. Finally, we're mining here. How long was that base not mining for? That base must have been made at like the 8-minute mark. Anyways, the reason why Cham is so aggressive is because he assumes his opponent is going to bleed out. And Haas actually sort of is bleeding out. He's got another recall available here momentarily, so he can send more probes towards the top left. That is going to make life significantly easier for him. Oh, disruptors again coming in from the side. Okay. Chef is going to be thinking right now as well, how come he still has stuff? Like, I don't have stuff. How does he have stuff if he's on 2 bases and I have 3 bases worth of stuff? Like, stuff is good. Anyways, but turns out Cham does have enough stuff. I think in Haas's mind he's like, yep, that is 2 Purification Novas worth of stuff. Assuming you don't pay attention. Okay, now more probes have arrived in the top left-hand corner. They're still not mining though. Are we please? Can we please? I know we're busy bowling, okay? He's trying to bowl a strike here. And he bowled 2 strikes, but it turns out Cham is playing an entirely different game. Like, why are you playing bowling when, you know, we're doing a game of, I don't know, tennis? Why'd you bring your bowling balls to a tennis match, dude? Doesn't make sense, Haas. You can keep, but, like, it doesn't count. Bowling over the racket doesn't do a whole lot. He's going for a bit of a zealot run-by on the other side of the map, and this is kind of working out here, I guess. Because the roaches are sleeping on the job, but a couple of roaches right now are in the main base. There's a few Dark Templar. Probes in the top left-hand corner are mining. He's forced to pull back right now. Oh no. If this works. Oh man, I can't get over the fact that these probes were idling for so long and how inefficient this Nexus in the top left has been. Because he's almost back in this. He's very close. I don't think Now imagine if he also had his resources that he's got banked right now spent. Ooh. I don't think this game is as dominant as Cham thinks it is. If only he knew. I've got a feeling that with slightly better macro, Haas would have been able to produce, for example, like Blink here. And then also, yeah, just a couple groups of Stalkers. He's perfectly capable of microing Stalkers. He's really good at that control. I've got a feeling he would have been able to hold. Anyways, in the end, it is Cham who obtains the victory in this very fun series of StarCraft 2. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button down below. And if you really liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. For now, though, have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.